Hello, welcome to another episode of Deck Musings. So we're at this point in Standard, historically, and we're at an interesting point because we've got the whole of Shard's block. We've got the two mini blocks, Lorwyn, Shadowmoor. We have 10th edition, so we're about, when we get into next week, we're going to be flipping over to the new style core sets. So we lose 10th edition and we gain M10. So there's a slight reduction you can see here in the card pool, and part of that is, if you look at the sort of old style core sets, yeah, this is pretty big, 363. What then happened going forward is the size of these core sets. If we look, let's just go through M11, you see that's, and you know, generally sets across the board were starting to become more consistent in their size. So they were sort of sticking to a certain number of cards in there. And we're just about to see a change in deck construction rules. We'll go through that a little bit more next week. So yeah, we're here. This week I'm going to look at a block constructed deck, just because I wanted to focus in a little bit more on the Shards block, because I know a lot of decks we've been looking at have been standard decks, and so you know they featured quite a broad set of cards across standard, but here we get to focus a little bit more on what might be going on card wise here. I have set musings for these, so I'll include links to those in the description. You can see there's quite an interesting, if you look at standard generally, there's quite an interesting list here. We've got some GPs going on. So what we're going to do is look at Pro Tour Honolulu. Now the final of this was booster draft, but there was an event within that whole tournament before they got into the top 8 and booster draft of block constructed. And the winner of ultimately the tournament, the winner of the top 8, the final top 8, we're going to look at the deck they played, which is this one. And as it says here, that the top 8 was an 8-man draft, but this was actually the block constructed deck that was played before that in other rounds in the lead into the top 8. And when we come to look at it, what you'll notice is it's primarily Jund colours, but there is some white being splashed here in this particular deck. The mana base can produce all 5 colours, but, and we'll just double check as we go through, I don't believe blue is actually needed in this deck. So we've got 17 creatures. We have 3 Putrid Leeches, so it's a black-green for 2/2, and you can pay 2 life, and if you do, it gets +2/+2 until end of turn. You can only play the ability once each turn. We have a 3-drop, or 4 3-drops, in the form of Sprouting Thrinax, which is a 3/3 for 3. It's Jund colours, black, red, green. And when it's put into the graveyard from play, you put 3 1/1 green Saproling creature token into play. We have a Cascade card here as well, so 2 red, green, Bloodbraid Elf, 4 of those, so 3/2 with haste. So with Cascade, when you play the spell, remove cards from your top of your library from the game until you remove a non-land card that costs less. You may put it you may play it without paying its mana cost. Put the remove cards on the bottom in a random order. So the cards go back to the bottom of your library just while you're doing, after you've done that. Then we have Broodmate Dragon, which I think we saw, it was in a deck we looked at, was it last week? So this is 3 black, red, green for 4/4 with flying, and when it comes into play, put a 4/4 red dragon creature token with flying into play. We've got 2 copies of Enlisted Wurm, 4 green, white, 5/5 with Cascade. So yeah, definitely got some Cascade going on in this deck. And again, when you play this spell, remove cards from the top of your library from the game until you remove a non-land card that costs less. You may play it without paying its mana cost, put the remove cards on the bottom in a random order. So that's a 6-drop. We have 8 instants, so 4 Terminates. So black, red, destroy target creature, it can't be regenerated. And 4 Bituminous Blasts, 3 black, red with Cascade. Same thing again. And it deals 4 damage to target creature. So 3 black, red. Our land base, so we've got quite a number of non-basic lands here. We have Arcane Sanctum, which is white, blue, black. Comes into play tapped. So there were these tri-lands in Shards of Alara. And this is the white, blue, black one, even though it doesn't look like we need blue in the deck. We've also got 4 exotic orchards, so we can add to our mana pool 1 mana of any colour that a land an opponent controls could produce. We've got 2 forests, 4 jungle shrines, so it's the red, green, white version of the tri-lands. 4 mountains, 2 Rupture Spires, which comes into play tapped, and when it comes into play, sacrifice it unless you pay 1, and then you can use it to filter. I'm sorry, no, it's not a filter land, is it? Yeah, it's just once it comes online, you just can use it to generate mana of any colour. So as I said, you do have access to the full 5 colours of mana in this deck through the tri-lands, but also Rupture Spire as well. And but also you can see we've got the Jund colours for the basic lands, because we've got 5 swamps here as well. So 2 forests, 4 mountains, 5 swamps. 1 planeswalker, Ajani Vengeant, 2 red, white. I nearly said red, green there. 2 red, white. +1 is target permanent, doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. -2, it deals 3 damage to target creature or player, and you gain 3 life. And -7, destroy all lands target player controls, and it comes into play with 3 loyalty counters on it. Sorcery wise, we've got 4 Blightnings, 1 black, red. Blightning deals 3 damage to target player. That player discards 2 cards, and that one's from Shards of Alara. 4 Maelstrom Pulses, 1 black, green. Sorcery, destroy target non-land permanent and all other permanents with the same name as that permanent. So in the main deck itself, you can probably see we have cards from Alara Reborn. That's from a Shards of Alara, another Alara Reborn card, another Shards of Alara card, Alara Reborn, more Alara Reborn. So quite a lot of Alara Reborn. These tri-lands are from Shards of Alara. The exotic orchard is from Conflux, as is the Rupture Spire. Ajani, as we said, comes from Alara Reborn. So and these 2, one from Alara Reborn and one from Shards of Alara and one from Alara Reborn. And that one was from Shards of Alara. Getting muddled up here. So yeah, in our sideboard, we've got 2 Magma Sprays, single red, deals 2 damage to target creature. If that creature would be put into a graveyard this turn, remove it from the game instead. 2 Paths to Exile, single white, remove target creature from the game. Its controller may search his or her library for a basic land card. put that card into play tapped, then shuffle his Ire library. 4 Celestial Purges, 1 and a white, remove a black or red permanent from the game. Anathemancer is in the sideboard, 4 of those, 1 black red, 2/2. When it comes into play, it deals damage to target player equal to the number of non-basic lands that player controls. And I imagine a lot of people were playing non-basic lands to get access to the various combinations of colours. So yeah. And unearth 5 black red. So return this card from your graveyard to play. It gains haste. Remove it from the game at the end of play, at the end of turn, or if it would leave play, unearth only as a sorcery. And then 3 infests. 1 and 2 black. All creatures get -2/-2 until end of turn. So that's our sideboard. So these are from Shards of Alara. These 2 are for Conflux. This is from Alara Reborn. And then another Shards of Alara card. And you can see here, you know, we are literally splashing white in this deck. The vast majority of the deck's Jun colours, but because of the cards you've seen, our mana pool, our mana producers, we do actually have access to blue as well. Interesting curve, no 1-drops at all. Okay, let's go through this. So, here are our forests from the set. As I've said, there's a set Musings I did, well, probably might even be over a year ago now, that I'll include a link to, so you can see all the cards. But here's the full complement of basic lands from Shards of Alara main block. Here are mountains, very nice, and our swamps. Okay, Arcane Sanctum. So, Tri-lands. Let's have a look. Yep. The cycle of Tri-lands, which have been reprinted. If we do the first printing, there we go. Pretty sure I have copies of these somewhere. Just go back a step, because there are a number of cards here that it says that it's better than. So we're probably going to see a few tap lands here, yeah, that mainly are 2 colours, but come into play tapped. Yep, so this is all 2 colour stuff. Let's have a look at all the Tri-lands that were part of a cycle. I think that would be a good way to go. Yep, so these have come up a few times, these homelands. So these are these weird filter Tri-lands. Although they didn't come into play tapped, there's an upside here somewhere. And also you could use them to generate colourless mana. But yeah, boy, if you wanted to get access to that, the mana, then yeah, it's through filtration and pretty heavy up here. So what are these? So green, white, red. white, blue, green. So these would be wedges, wouldn't they? Am I right about that? Or is that a shard? Hang on, no. White, green, red. Just trying to think. Green, white, red. Red would be next to that. Green, white, blue. Black, blue, black, red. Always interesting to try and... No, so these are actually shards. Yeah, these are shard colours. White, blue, black, yeah, okay. And we had these strange things. So, white, blue, black, black, red, green, green, blue, green, white, blue. Just trying to get them on the colour pie. Blue, black, red, red, green, white, yeah, okay. But the way they did them is interesting in that they came into play tapped. You can tap them for just one particular colour. So it would be the middle colour of the shard, because in a shard you have like the colour on either side of it, the two allied colours, but the outer colours are enemies of one another. But the way they did it here was that to get access to those enemy colours, and it was as a combination of the two, you sacked it. Then these are really interesting, these layers. So they were a layer. If it comes into play, sacrifice it unless you return a non-layer land you control to its owner's hand. So they're a bounce land, but with a condition about, yeah, so a very specific form of land that had to bounce. But again, you can see here we've got, this is a shard. And we actually get these ones. So the ones in the, and these now we move into wedges. And I think I'm right. We didn't have, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, we didn't have tri-lands that produced wedge colours until this point. Kanza here. I think that's right. So yeah, Frontier Bivouac, Mystic Monastery, Nomad Outpost, Opulent Palace and Stansept Citadel. And we have these lands, these tri-lands, which are these cycling lands, which enter the battlefield tapped and at quite a high rarity, as these are rare. The other ones you can see here, these are up in a uncommon. Not sure what rarity these were at, but yeah. And there we have it, that's it. Now, of course, there have been other tri-lands, as I think it said here, but just not. This list includes the non-cycle stuff. So, for instance, here we've got Murmuring Bosque, which does, yeah. So that, we do have, okay. So we do, this is, so yeah, this was, looking at this actually, now we've done it this way, this was a wedge, but there just wasn't a cycle of wedges until this point, yeah. And we get other stuff like this. triomes, and then these. So are those both? So the triomes do wedges, and then these do shards. Okay. Yeah, okay, 35 there. So I was trying to work out what what did they drop off the list? Interesting. So if these are 35 and the others were 39, see if I can. So that one's not part of a cycle. That one is not part of a cycle. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So in terms of cycles, the first full cycle of wedges wasn't until here, but we did have this odd one out from Morning Tide. Okay. Moving on. So yeah, Jungle Shrine, same thing, so I'm not going to bother drilling through this. Savage Lands, another tri-land. So we've got 3 tri-lands in here from the cycle of 5. But because they're tri-lands, just having those 3 in here gives us access to, all the colours. And in actual fact, I'm assuming with the right combination, if you wanted it, if you just had 2, would you get all 5? How does that work? Yeah, it should do, because we're running shards. That's fairly easy to do. We could just do the one that shares a single colour would get you access to just on yeah, so red, green, white, white, blue, black. So even if you just had these 2 in the deck, you'd get access to all 5 colours. But I'm assuming because it's like a Jun deck, what you want to do is have these as your core. So it's full on Jun, then you've got 2 colours from it. It's interesting. Didn't choose Crumbling Necropolis. There's obviously reasons for that. I suppose this one. Is there any one where you could get? Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, because you do want access to the white, don't you, in the deck? So, seeing as you're splashing it, yeah. So that actually does make more sense. I was just trying to work out if, yeah, it doesn't really matter, does it? No, okay, so yeah, that actually does make sense, because we want to go for all the ones that have white in them, and we're not playing blue, so yeah, that's actually, yeah, is the best choice, the one that's there, not surprisingly. Yeah, okay. There's our Rupture Spire. We've looked at this on previous weeks now. So there's a number that fall into this category of Rainbow Land. Throughout Magic's history, something that we have visited on several occasions, starting off with City of Brass. It's also a tap land. It's also a sack land. And there's a few cards that are very similar to this. So we got this. So this is what a functional reprint. Worse than Nearby Planet. That's an interesting one. Similar to Cascade Promenade. Worse than Gateway Plaza. And similar to Public Thoroughfare. Yeah, you can see here there's a number of cards which are either identical in a functional reprints or pretty close. Yeah, Exotic Orchard, another one. This is interesting. Yeah, it's turned up in quite a few Commander decks. It was in Plain Taste 2012, and then 2016 in the Commander product started to appear, and had a bit of a run there. But this is interesting because it's 1 mana of any colour that a land an opponent controls could produce. So you know, you can imagine it's pretty strong in multiplayer, where you're more likely to have access to a lot more colours. In this format, where potentially just your opponent could be playing lots of combinations, particularly sort of meshing up the tri-lands like this does, then yeah, makes a lot of sense in terms of if you're looking for something that's going to produce 5 colours. Let's see what tag wise it ticks. So Fellwar Stone. Oh yeah, Fellwar Stone. Interesting. Yeah, because that's an artifact that does that. Reflecting Pool. That's although that's on us. Land you control could produce. Quiron Explorer and Silverrock Explorer are the ability, but stuck on a creature. Bloodbraid Elf, Cascade. What's Consult Cast? Consult effects that let you cast the card you find. Oh, okay. 108. Right. That's a tag I've not seen before. It's been in quite a number of cycles. This will be the original one. We'll have a look at that. Geological Appraiser. Again, this idea of French vanilla. Creatures and vehicles have only keyword abilities. Okay. So yeah, we've got Bituminous Blast in the deck. Ardent Plea, Bituminous Blast, Bloodbraid Elf, Enlisted Wurm, and Cathari Remnant. So Ardent Plea has Exalted and Cascade. Bituminous Blast has Cascade and Damage. Bloodbraid Elf is a creature with haste on it. Enlisted Wurm, another creature with Cascade, and then Cathari Remnant, which is flying and regenerate. So we've got 3 out of the 5 in the deck. In terms of how much Cascade crops up, we'll have a look at that. This was part of I can remember trying to remember what 2 times 2 is. It's one of like the double sets, isn't it? Like double masters or something like that. What is that? Yeah, double masters. That's right. I should know that. Yeah. So wow. It goes, yeah, double, yeah, double the full cycle. Yeah, because these are 2-colour, it's going to go through all the 10 2-colour combinations. But this particular one, it was just the allied colours. Now, what I was going to do is look at Cascade. Where did it come from? Oops. Where did it go? Alright, here we go. Release date. '55. So, okay. So we have it in Alara Reborn. Then it turns up in Plane Chase 2012, where we've got cards specifically created for the Cascade Plane Chase deck. Well, that's just there because it's in that thing there. And then looks like we've got odd ones. Okay, what's this? Oh, Modern Horizons. A couple from there. Zendikar Rising. Oh, that's because of the name again. Okay. I could have filtered out on the name, I suppose. But I didn't know what to expect. Commander Legends, they put it in there. And Modern Horizons, couple. Forgotten Realms. Yeah, so just a few here and there. Commander product, multiplayer, and a few just scattered in either special sets as well. But yeah, consistently, I suppose, in terms of just a regular set, is this group here, but not a ton. 12. And yeah, another thing I go through in a lot more detail in the appropriate set musings for this. Ether Mage Touch. Okay, that was one of them. Oops. Moving on. Oh yeah, Enlisted Wurm. So that was part of the cycle. Yeah, another Consult cast. And another French Vanilla as well. Putrid Leech. This falls into any interesting categories. So we've got a cycle we'll have a look at. The Festa Leech. Live Payment, that's a pretty big group of things that fall under that tag. But let's just look at this cycle, shall we? Oh yeah, Wind Cottle, cool. Oops. Printing. Right. Going to do it by colour, shall we? So yeah, enemy colours. Vectis Dominator. Tap down with this interesting condition. Magefire Wings, which is an enchantment. Another creature, which is the one which is in the deck. Ceridin Yearling, and then Wind Cottle. Of course, if you're opening several packs of this particular product, you're going to see quite a few of these because this is common. So yeah, always interesting with the common cycles, isn't it? Like when you're just opening packs, how many of those you see. Sprouting Thrinax. This was an uncommon. It's cropped up in, what was that, one commander product. I do have a commander deck outside of just this one with this in thing, but I'm trying to remember. It's probably one of the, it's a black, red, green graveyard sacrifice deck I have, which I think has got this in it. You can get some interesting interactions. You know, you can, when these sort of tokens get generated and various other things. Yep. Death trigger on self. But you can't, there's no way of, it doesn't have any self-sacrifice. Spits on death, what's this? Cards with the realistic crap. Okay. Is that something we've no? Right. Spits on death, I like that term. So when was the first time we saw that? Mongrel Pack, okay. Mongrel Pack, Goblin Marshal, Symbiotic Beast, Symbiotic Elf, Symbiotic Wurm. Oh, Jotun Owlkeeper from Cold Snap with the cumulative upkeep. Chronozoa, Kinsblade, Border Guard from Morning Tide. There's a token there with it on. Oh yeah, Mitotic Slime and yeah, good old Wormcoil Engine, the mythic from Scars of Mirrodin. Mausoleum Guard, World's Fine Worm. There's a lot of interesting ones here on like really juicy curry creatures. I say a lot, a few. Oh, actually there's another 9/9. Ochre Jelly. Wormcoil Lila. Wow. Yeah, that's not... I hadn't heard of that before. Spits on death. At least I don't remember hearing it. Put it that way. Right. Let's look at the... so this is the tricolour. And you can see here a tricolour cycle at Uncommon. It's been you can see, I think all of them, all of them are reprinted. But let's look at this. I don't know if the artwork has changed, but we'll do this anyway. So we can see. Nope, doesn't look like it has. So Firefield Ogre has Unearth. Rocks War Monk has Lifelink. This has the spitting. Spits on death. Tower Gargoyle's got flying, and then Willy Thoctor. Well, it's just a B5/4 beast for 3. So I think I've got this in a beast deck probably. Beast. Ajani Vengeant. Burn any, drain life, sweep a land, destroy. What can you say? So yeah, so it's got the tap down. Target permanent doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. It has the 3 damage and the life gain as well. You can download play on a creature and the land destruction. All in a nice neat package. Yeah, freeze permanent, that's the word they're using here. Yeah, notice it says target permanent. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, so beyond, yeah, you see a lot of, you know, quite a number of creatures that do that, but to just other creatures. But this is, yeah. Oh, there's Frost Titan. So if we look at this, Froley's Winds. Whenever a opponent becomes tapped, put a win counter on it. Okay, opponents with any win counts on them do not untap during their untap phase instead win counts. What's the errata on that? Whenever a permanent becomes tapped, put a win counter on it. If a permanent with a win counter on it would untap during its remove all win counters from it instead. Oh, okay, so it just but it does do everything. Or, yeah. Most recent one is Twisted Riddle Keeper, Modern Horizons. I forgot Tamio has it on it. And Lorthos doing its thing. Similar to Lightning Helix, in as much as it does the middle ability for red-white as opposed to 2 red-white. Okay. One-sided sweeper. Yeah. Target player. I mean, if you look at, if you're sort of curious, those were the planeswalkers in Shards of Alara. Ajani, Elspeth, Sarkhan, Tezzeret. Nearly said Tezzeret. So yeah, red, white, red, green, or blue. Now, legendaries. So this is planeswalkers and creatures. So the legendaries look interesting because you can see here we've got some stuff going on. So let me just screen out those planeswalkers actually. Gone off a bit of a side tunnel here, but never mind. Plain. There you go. And then put them in, I don't know, colour. Yeah. White, blue, black, red, black, red, green, red, green, white, and green, white, blue. So there was this cycle of the 3 colour shards for legendary creatures. So Kresh is the one that was in. I was mainly curious because I wanted to see what was in the Jund colours, but it's doing counters. Bituminous Blast, another card with Cascade. I think we saw that this was part of that cycle, didn't we? Consult cast again because of that. Burn with set mechanic, removal, creature burn, alliteration. And there are 3,273 cards with alliterations in, which probably goes some way to contributing to my mispronunciations. Blame it on the alliterations, I say. Blightning. Yeah. It's a portmanteau. And 3 damage to target player, and that player discards 2 cards at common. So this would have been cropping up quite a lot in draft. Yeah, if you open sufficient packs beyond a certain number, you're going to easily start to see it. Similar to Carnival Carnage. Aggressive Sabotage. Burn player. Discard with set mechanic. And the cycle, as you can see here, only Hindering Light has not been reprinted. And, yeah, and there's the full cycle. And it is indeed an allied colour cycle. So this one is counterspell, or conditional counterspell, and draw a card. Here we've got the -3/-0 on one target creature and -0/-3 on another. Blightning, Branching Bolt is modal, but we can choose both actually, so that's good. One or both. 3 damage to target creature with flying, and or 3 damage to target creature without flying. And then Sigil Blessing, combination of +3/+3 for target creature, and then +1/+1 on other creatures you control until end of turn. It's pretty neat. Maelstrom Pulse. Destroy target non-land permanent and all other permanents with the same name as that permanent. So I was just trying to remember, where was that in the grand scheme of things? So that was mainboarded, okay. That was mainboarded. Yeah. Because it's non-land permanents and all other permanents with the same name, but non-land permanents, yeah, there's a whole list of things that it will remove. So auras, enchantments, artifact, creature, equipment, planeswalker. And as has been pointed out with these sorts of cards, they're weaker in singleton formats because it's trying to, obviously destroy other permanents that it can with the same name. Terminate. Similar to Molten Collapse. Yep. Double Masters, Modern Masters 3, Removal Creature Destroy. What I was interested in is, it's been around for a while, isn't it? Well, I think it's been around for a while. Let's have a look. Yeah. Plane Shift. Then we get a number of special cards. Then it appears again. And then in certain special decks, certain decks. And when do we see it again in a set? Probably Modern Masters. Doesn't look like they've ever reprinted it in like a regular expansion. It looks like it's either been in decks or compilation sets. Do I see it anywhere? I don't. So in that case, it's only ever twice been in a expansion. Both times that was at what was it, common? Yeah. Yeah, because if you look at everything else, you can see it's plane shift. The list probably goes higher. We'll have a look. Yeah, so these are all your World Champ decks, Friday Night Magic, Player Reward. There's the Alara one, Arch Enemy, blah. If I go up the list, Commander Anthology, there's a dual deck there. Commander 2020, Double Masters. Yeah, look, all Commander stuff. Starter decks. Yeah, interesting. I mean, generally with just see, I'm curious here. So, black, red, 2 colour with destroy. Oops. $39. And if we do what? Sending mana. Okay, yeah, Dreadball, okay. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. Right. Rakdos Charm. So I'll terminate. Interesting. Coercion. Oh yeah, poison the wild does lands, doesn't it? And then 2 damage to lands controller. Fumarole. And we're just going up in order. Anathemancer. Activate from the graveyard because of Unearth. Hates non-basic lands. Temporary reanimation. Reanimate self-burn player. I mean, lots of stuff that activates from the graveyard. Specifically, out of those cards, 59 Unearth cards. So, yeah, 268. So out of that, 59 Unearth. Oops. Unearth. Okay. There we go. There's the ones from the set, the other ones. A bit of a mixed bag there. And then we've got some here. Again, sort of just a hodgepodge really, spread out over various compilation sets and other things. Commander products. Featured quite heavily in 40k. It was in the Brothers' War, interestingly enough. Turned up there. You can see there's quite a number of cards actually with Unearth on them. I'm assuming what happens if I do this, just in case something hasn't been. So there's 64. If it's just Unearth. So yeah, you probably gathered we are now into sideboard territory. Celestial Purge. Was this part of a cycle? Yeah, oh yeah, that's right. What's for the... So it crops up a lot. I think we've looked at this card before actually now. It's jogged my memory. So M10, M11, M12. But I think wasn't the makeup slightly different? So this is the cycle from this set. And you can see actually only 2 out of them have been reprinted, so that tells me sort of what I want to know already. So yeah, the cycle changed a bit. Yeah, I think I looked at this last week or the week before, and yeah, there were a few here where, you know, they turned up across multiple cycles as well. So yeah, Deathmark, Flash Freeze, Combust, and then they were sort of regularly swapping out the green one, or as you saw there, the red one. But against this, everything, yeah, everything got changed. The other 4. Oh, and the and the Ignited Disorder, which so these 2 from the original cycle have been reprinted, but these have never. Infest, we looked at that before. All creatures -2/-2 until end of turn. And you get, you know, a number of cards that do very similar things. But then also, you know, it's an interesting way to do sweeper, so sweeping on creature toughness. And there was a whole slew of cards, because I think we looked at this at the very least, you know, recently. But I think as we saw, yeah, it's all over randomly all over the place in Magic. -1s, -2s. Mainly you can see early on a lot of it's black, but then start to see it sort of bleeding over a bit more into other colours. But you know, this one's got black activation in it. It's on Crovax, also on our friend Elish Norn, Massacre Wurm, and so on. As on these special cards, these are these Heroes Path. Might have this one, I'm not sure. Magma Spray. So we'll have a look at that. Flame Blessed Bolt, worse than that. It's a single red. Worse than Torch the Tower, which is also a single red. But better than Scorch Mark, which is a run-on red, deals 2 damage to target creature. If that creature will be dies, turn exile instead. Make them the 0 target creature. That creature will be put into a graveyard this turn. Remove it from the game instead. Okay. Oh, single red, that's why. This is a double red. Oh, sorry, 1 and a red. So these are singles. Oh, okay. That one does Planeswalkers as well. That's why then. It's not the cards, just... And so they've got extra stuff. So yeah, these 2 are also a single red. This one is or 1 and a red. Disintegrate. Damaged creatures are exiled instead of dying. Yeah. There we go. X and a red. Disintegrate, and there's Magma Spray. So what's that usually? It's a single red for 2. Is that? I just get confused. Is that shock? I'm trying to remember. Anyway, answers in the comment section. I suppose I can do this, can't I? See MC of 1 with Oracle of 2 damage. get the X spells up, that's the only thing. Shadow Storm, Tarfire, okay. Interesting. There's Shock. So when was Shock printed? Did I do something wrong there? Yeah, I did, didn't I? Oh, dear me. Printing. Oh, there it is, yeah. Shock. So that deals 2 damage to target creature or player. Magma Spray. If that creature will be put into grave of a player, remove it from the game instead. So, yeah. And then finally pass to Exile. Good old path to Exile. Yep. Ramp, swap removal. So yeah, we're removing a creature and we're giving the controller a basic land card from their library. They can, well, they may search. Removal creature, exile, tutor land basic. Let's look at swap removals. Sorry I messed up your stuff. Here's a thing. That's funny. Yeah, sorry for blowing your stuff up. You can have some land. Oh yeah, Afterlife, of course. Path to Exile, Crib Swap. And here, note, it's actually exiling the card. It's not just sticking it in the library. So, what did I say? Stick it in the library? Sorry, sticking it in the graveyard. It's removing it from the game. It's interesting, isn't it? You get these other cards like in blue, which give it, give your opponent a creature. Cool. So there we have it. I really enjoyed that. That was interesting to sort of really focus in on just the block, which is one of the reasons why I like to throw in the incredible block construct, the occasional block constructed deck when it comes up. Thanks once again for watching. Bye for now, and I will catch you in a future episode.